Podcast Network Asia.
What's going on? This is Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
Welcome to the big time!
Hello, WWE Universe in the Philippines. This is Charlotte.
You know your damn role and shut your damn mouth.
Hey everyone, this is Jeff Cobb.
I have to finish the story.
We are pretty deadly. Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
Hello, my name is Ilya Dragunov, the Czar.
Bang! The sniper is shooting you down. This is TMDK's Robbie Eagles, and you are listening to the Wrestling Podcast.
You're listening to the longest-running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. This is the Wrestling Podcast. It's a two-man show for this hopefully very quick audio-only Picks of the Week episode. It's Stan, C, and Emil ASH checking in. Rowen's got school, Chino's got God knows what, and Ro can't get his tech stuff to work, so that sucks. But, you know, we've got duties to perform and we've got a podcast to put out. So Emil and I are going to do our best to record this thing in under 40 minutes kasi hindi kaya ng budget namin ngayon yung Pro Zoom. Right. Picks of the week, as always. If you want to chime in and get your picks in, you know where to find us. It is at Wrestling2XPod on TikTok and on Twitter. Emil, let the people know how they can be part of our growing Wrestling Podcast Patreon community, because we have been doing a lot of good stuff over on the Wrestling Podcast Discord.
Oh yes, definitely. And if you want to experience the full Wrestling Podcast experience, all you got to do is subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/Wrestling Podcast. For as low as $5, so in a local currency, it's around 275 pesos. So very, very cheap. Like Stan said, we have so many good stuff over on our Patreon. Of course, we have our Discord server where you could interact with your fellow podcasts and talk to us about anything. Talk to us about wrestling, video games, food, fashion, memes, anything and anything under the sun. We also have the Pasabais, which the last one just concluded a couple of months ago. And if you want to be a part of the next one and you want to get your authentic wrestling merch, WWE, AEW could get it through us. You can also enjoy the review content of the weekly wrestling shows like Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite, and some local wrestling events as well, courtesy of Rowen, ASH. And by subscribing to our Patreon, you're supporting everything that we do here on the pod. So please, again, subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/Wrestling Podcast for as low as $5.
All right, let's start off with the picks of the week. We usually go chronological order on this, but I'm actually kind of confused now with all the order, all the chronological order stuff, just because I'm daming wrestling in my life over the last few days between the weeklies and MWF tapings and all that. I'm all wrestling now, dude. So I wish I could take a break as well. Let's start with Rowen's pick, because he picked something that's actually kind of fun, and that's the gameplay footage from AEW Fight Forever. And Rowen is actually linking us to some footage from his favorite wrestling gaming channel, New Legacy Inc.
Legacy, yep.
Yeah, and the hosts of this particular video are DPW's John Blood, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, and James Darnell. So Rowen actually is excited for the game because of all the weapons na pwede mong ilabas, from Darby Allin's skateboard to the electrifying barbed wire to the 2x4 to my favorite, which is the propane bomb, which is really stupid and hilarious and dangerous and wild all at the same time. Tang ina, nag-wrestling ka, biglang may LPG na sasabog ang puta. So that was pretty stupid and fun. Intergender matches are also there. I believe yung pinaka-viral clip features Chris Statlander going up against Darby Allin for the TNT Championship. So that's pretty fun. And it makes Rowen wonder, if Chris Stat can win the TNT Championship, then can a man win the TBS Championship?
No. Kasi the TBS Championship is purely titled being defended for women. So
Di mo
I
alam
don't think
yan.
that's
We
gonna
don't know.
happen.
Do you have a copy of Fight Forever? I don't have a copy of it.
No, I don't have. I'm just making a prediction that won't happen.
Gusto ko malaman kung sino yung, ano yung hinit-hit nung taong nag-isip na, pwede tayong maglagay ng propane bomb as a weapon. Like, what
They just-
drugs have to be in your system for you to come up with such a concept?
It's such a wild weapon, no? Kasi yung iba dito, pretty much common naman sa wrestling, the skateboard, the barbed wire, pero ito bomba, like so wild. So it's also kind of creative if you think about it. Like even though it's kind of stupid
You have never
when
been
you-
in an arena where human flesh was burned, so
yeah,
until that
that's
happens
true.
to you, hindi ka fine, keep getting excited over it because I'm just counting down until the next idiot sees this and decides to pull off another self-immolation
Yeah.
spot. God forbid it ever happens ever again. Some incel or some idiot is probably gonna think, pwede sa video game, puta, gagawin ko rin in a match.
Yeah, that's also kind of true. That's why this game, ano ba yung rating nito? Like it's M or PG? Ano ba? Like
Has the rating ever stopped you from getting a game? Does it
okay,
matter?
Yeah, that's
I don't have
yeah,
kids. It
that's-
doesn't matter to me.
Okay, that's kind of true as well. Pero yeah, it looks like this game is ano siya, it's gonna be arcadey kasi
Yeah.
super unrealistic tong mga to. And I think we already touched upon it when we talked about this game. It's gonna be way different than WWE 2K, and it should be a whole lot of fun experience playing this game.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like I've got some snarky comments about the footage that's out, about the very limited footage. But I'm not gonna lie, I'd like to play the game as well. I'd like to give it a try,
Yeah.
just because I love wrestling video games pa rin naman, and I want to see how different it is from WWE 2K. So, AEW Fight Forever should be out in about 2 or 3 weeks here in Manila. So go check it out if you wanna throw a propane bomb into the ring during an actual match. Right, let's go over to Chino's pick, which is from this past weekend's Impact Wrestling. It was Subculture, the team of Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster, against the Motor City Machine Gun. And see, Chino, he's loving the renaissance of the Motor City Machine Guns, and he's also appreciating how Subculture is, has appeared at least more than once on Impact. Si Danny Luna nag-debut na rin, and everybody in Subculture took an L. But he feels like it was still great wrestling. I actually enjoyed what Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster brought to this match. And if you haven't really seen yung Subculture act, you'll be surprised to see that their entire shtick, from their attires to their music to the entrance video, lahat yun galing ng NXT UK. I still don't know how they were able to work this out, but I was pretty thrilled to see it on non-WWE programming, because how often does it happen na yung entrance mo from WWE na dadala mo all together to a different company?
Wait, I didn't see the entrance. Is yung kanta ba niya ni Mark
Yes,
Andrews?
the
Yung
song,
pala yun?
everything. That's Mark Andrews' band. The video
kaya
that they shot, all the footage, lahat yun is from their NXT UK presentation.
Yeah. Okay. Kaya naman pala, because it's his own. So, actually, honestly, di ko alam na Subculture pala is comprising of Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. So I thought there's someone new or someone different. So when I watched this, nagulat ako. It was them. And sabi ko, sakto kasi kalaban nila Motor City Machine Guns, who also work kind of the same style, yung fast-paced na balls to the wall stag action. And this was a really good match, I must admit. Coming in with no expectations at all. Pero syempre, we all know Motor City Machine Guns are like one of the best tag teams in the last 20 years. And Chino has a good point. They're having this renaissance as of late because they're having their own singles runs where I think Alex Shelley's going to challenge for the Impact World title in the upcoming week. Also, Sabin is also going after the X Division title. But it's still a good thing that they still team up once in a while, because I love them as individuals, but I love them more as the Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah, I kind of don't like it when tag teams go their separate ways. Na hindi naman sila magkaaway, but they're just chasing singles championships, pero di na sila tag team, diba? So I kind of like how they've got their own thing going on, but they can reform the team and, not get in each other's way and not be dicks to one another. So, good stuff. I think MCMG was also low-key working heel during the match. Hindi ko alam kung napansin mo yun. So, it's also kind of weird seeing that kasi from my understanding, in the limited amount of TNA and Impact that I've seen in my lifetime, I think they were baby faces. I could be wrong, and Chino's not here to correct me. So, suck it, Chino. All right, let's move on here to one more pick before we go to break, and this is Emil's pick from the most recent episode of AEW Rampage. So go at it, young buck.
All right, so my pick of the week goes out to the three-way match for the AAA Mega Championship. It was between El Hijo del Vikingo versus Komander versus
AAA. You have to say it with the thrilling R. AAA.
Yeah, AAA versus Dralistico. It happened on the Rampage episode. They dubbed it as Championship Friday, so it was kind of a special episode. So first time ko manood Rampage in a while, and I think Tony Khan really did a good job of stacking this card with so many championship matches. I think there were 4. All of them were championship matches. And this was the opener, and it was a sprint. It was only 10 minutes, pero yung 10 minutes na yun, sobrang puno na action. All of them got their shine in the match. And for me, Vikingo is simply one of the best luchadors in the world right now. Someone na hindi pa masyado kilala ng mga tao, but I think they should know who he is because he's so damn good. There's no denying about it. And every time I see him wrestle, I just can't help but to be amazed of the superhuman things that this guy can do in the ring. And Komander and Dralistico are also really good. That's why they've been being featured more on AEW TV over the last few weeks. So it looks like they're really stacking up on luchadors in AEW, which for me it's a good thing. I always love to see some lucha action on TV.
Yeah, they delivered with a lot of good lucha things, and I guess the most common reaction that I had throughout that match was, "Holy shit, they just did that! Puta ina, whoa!" So for them to get me to just wake up and pick up my jaw off the floor with all the crazy spots that they pulled off in that match, that was pretty fun. If you're one of the I guess for lack of a better term, Jim Cornette types who don't approve of all the floppity stuff, this probably isn't for you. But I do like these matches from time to time, so nakakatuwa naman. And even though some of the spots were unnecessary, this is the flavor talaga of the lucha action that AEW wants to present. And I guess for these guys who are also representing AAA, a way for them to stand out from the typical AEW fare is to really just wow you with things that basically defy physics. So, good on Vikingo, Komander, and Dralistico for putting on a hell of a 10-minute match here for the AAA Mega Championship. All right, we're down to our last couple of picks. That's coming up on the other side of this break. But first, a quick word from our other podcasts right here on Podcast Network Asia. And we're back. We're going to get to Rose's pick, and that was from Dominion, which happened yesterday while we were backstage over at the MWF tapings. So while that was happening, you had a 6-man tag match for the never open weight 6-man tag team championships. The defending champs are a motley crew featuring Kazuchika Okada, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Tomohiro Ishii. I don't know how Tana found himself in a group with the Chaos Boys, but here we are. And they took on Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli representing the BCC, and Shota Umino, who really wrestled like a man on a mission. Talagang, alam mo yung na-feel ko yung gigil nung bata na gusto talagang magpasikat or magpakitang gilas because he was in there with all that star power. And, you could feel the pressure on the young guy to really just earn his spot at the table, so to speak. And the match was filled with some fun, hard-hitting stuff, which is right up Rose alley. You have 4 world champions basically in that match, diba? You also had Mox and Claudio feeling like they could go let loose and do stuff that they normally wouldn't do in AEW. Like, I really loved certain things like the heel team doing the shield bomb, and then see Claudio doing the giant swing, and then Mox hitting the stomp, right? All the allusions to their WWE connections. That was one of my favorite parts. Ro also appreciates how Mox feels a bit more liberated here in New Japan because he can just be an ass kicker. And he also feels na Claudio and Yuta should be loaned to New Japan instead of being, as his words, not mine, Joke Time World Champions in Tony Khan's ROH. What did you think of this six-man?
I just want to add you sa point mo earlier na sobrang gigil ni Shota na he wants to prove something. I also want to add that his father was the referee of that match. So, see Red Shoes. So,
that was a nice wrinkle.
This was a really great match. This was a semi-main event of Dominion. Yesterday kasi Claudio na late yung flight niya. So they had to move around the card to accommodate that. But still, parang hindi jet lag si Claudio. He still went out there, really did some good stuff.
Katapat niyan, Claudio is a coffee connoisseur, so I'm sure he perked himself up before he got ready to kick ass.
Yep, and this was your typical six-man tag na like all of them at some point they were all going to the ring to do their stuff, and wala masyadong hindi masyadong constricted with that papasok ka lang pag natag ka. So this was a really fun match again, and I always love it when Mox is in Japan. Same sentiments here for me. He's just a whole nother different guy in Japan, and I think he loves it more there kasi he's much more liberated and he can just wrestle there. Like, he doesn't have to deal with any other BS that he dealt with in America in AEW. So also sa last point ni Rona, Claudio and basically Yuta should be loaned to New Japan. I kind of agree. Kasi when this relationship of AEW and NJPW started, I thought we were gonna get talent exchanges. Now you'd have guys who aren't really getting used being loaned to New Japan for experience, and also para din magamit sila, and for the Japanese fans to maybe want to see them. I think they're already doing that with Eddie, since Eddie is gonna be Eddie Kingston, which because he's gonna be in the G1 tournament. Pero like, they should do more of that, especially with their young guys and also with some of their main event talents na hindi naman masyadong nagagamit on stateside.
Hey, I would love to see a Gene Blast over on Dynamite.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to my pick. And it's from the most recent episode of SmackDown. It was the Bloodline segment that followed Roman Reigns' 1,000-day celebration as undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Man, the cinema here just keeps on going. And I really loved how every member of the Bloodline has very clear motives. And medyo ipaparot ko yung sinabi ni Carlo Cannon because I just attended one of his seminars right before we hit record. And we were talking about character. And that segment for the Bloodline, you could tell what every character's motivations were. And that's important when you're telling a story, especially in a segment or in a promo, because if you have many different characters and you know each of their motivations, lumalabas dun yung complex interactions. Like, you understand why Solo Sikoa would say something like, "These guys are my brothers," pero deep down, alam din niya na yung pera niya nanggagaling sa tribal chief eh. Kaya kapit pa rin siya sa patalim, di ba? Kahit na kapatid niya sina Jimmy and Jay, he has to hit them with the Samoan spike to put them in their place because he knows na his livelihood resides with the tribal chief. Whereas si Jimmy, natauhan na siya, mulat na siya, di ba? He's like, "I'm doing what you should have done months ago." And then there's Jay, who's clearly still being torn apart inside because he's suffering the worst case of Stockholm Syndrome. Because of Roman, who's like this, in Sami Zayn's words, diba? Such a manipulator and gaslighter. So, sobrang ganda when everybody's motivations are clear. And I think if you want to know, or if you want to learn about how to properly construct a segment with different characters, there's a reason why the Bloodline is like your go-to right now. But, hindi naman lahat ng promotions merong weekly television, unlike WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, Impact, etc. Now you can really flesh out all these characters. But still, having these examples is still a good thing, diba? Because you're able to really dissect characters and find out bakit ganun yung asta nila. Bakit ganun yung actions nila. And that's what we're seeing here in this very complex and well-told story from the Bloodline.
Yeah, I kind of, agree ako sa'yo na because of the way they flesh it out, naiintindihan mo why they are doing the things that they are doing. And man, what a segment. What a roller coaster of a segment that was. Kasi akala na natin na Solo has finally sided with his brothers, pero yun naman pala, hindi naman pala. And again, a lot of people were already saying na nauumay na daw sila with the Bloodline story. And again, it's not yet over. This story is far from over. Kasi alam naman natin talaga kung ano yung magiging ending nito eh. It hasn't happened yet, pero I think now it's much more clearer where this story will head for me after that segment that we just saw on SmackDown.
Yeah, so go ahead and check it out, man. If you haven't checked it out yet for whatever reason, I made sure to... I actually made sure to catch the segment before I went to bed the night before the MWF tapings because I knew I couldn't show up there na hindi ko pa siya napapanood because people were messaging me all day. And I'm like, I'm hanging out with my fiance today, but thank you for the reminder to go catch SmackDown today. Like, I swear, it wasn't just in Discord natin that was lighting up my phone. People were telling me to go tune into SmackDown. So, for whatever reason, hindi mo pa napapanood, go catch it and learn a thing or two about character work. Right?
What do you think of the new title belt, though?
Good question. We'll probably discuss this again on the live stream.
Thursday,
but it's very golden, I guess. So parang medyo nawalan ng distinguishing factor compared to the big gold that Seth is holding. I have personally fallen in love with the Blue Universal Championship. Like, I think that is the top tier belt, or that was the top tier belt. So I'm really gonna miss it, and it's gonna take a while for me to warm up to the undisputed championship belt. I think na tama si Rowen yung posts niya on TikTok na the lighting kind of also affects how you look at the belt. Yep. And when you look at championship titles, I would prefer to have one whose aesthetic is not dependent on the lighting. Like, independent of whatever lighting it is, maganda siya. You get what I'm saying here?
Yes, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so there. Those are my thoughts, my very quick thoughts on the title. I think it will grow on me like everything, so I'm not gonna set up picket lines and start bonfires or protests or whatever. It will grow on me. Ikaw, wala ka na thoughts on the title?
It's fine. The belt is fine. Yun na nga, may kinda also agree with bro. The lighting did had a part in it, like na yung mga complaints ng mga tao na it looks ugly, it looks different. It's for me partly on the lighting kasi it was really bad lighting when they revealed the title. So, but when I saw the HD photos of it, and okay, this isn't as bad as people thought out to be. Medyo may konting problem na ako with the color combinations, pero that's just picking on my part. Pero definitely I miss the Blue Universal title. It really looked good on Rowen for 3 years, and surely will be missed.
Yeah, so there. Those are our thoughts. Those are our picks of the week. As always, you know where to find them, right? You know where to find us if you want to chime in with yours. It is at Wrestling2XPod on TikTok and on Twitter. We will catch you again on Thursday for our weekly live stream. That is at 7 p.m. on Facebook and on YouTube. Just follow us, The Wrestling Podcast, Instagram and Spotify. Same name, same handle. Don't forget to follow us and leave a 5-star rating as well. But if you want to chat with us individually, just like a lot of people have been tagging us over the last few days, mostly because of the taping. So thank you so much. It is at _Stancy for me, at Rowiswar, at Chino Supersized, at EML_Meister, and at Monday Night Rowen. Thank you very much to our babyface producers over at Podcast Network Asia for all the work that they do behind the scenes. and for putting these episodes together. We're out of here. We made it in under 40 minutes, which is wonderful. Thank you very much for checking out these episodes. We'll catch you again on Thursday. On behalf of Emil ASH, my name is Stan C. Remember to stay safe, stay healthy, and don't be a dick. Wrestling Podcast out. Peace. Bye-bye.
The views and opinions expressed by the podcast creators, hosts, and guests do not necessarily reflect the official policy and position of Podcast Network Asia, the hosts of the program, or other programs of the network. Any content provided by the people on the podcast are of their own opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything.